I'm going to show you how to use the FloPirate extension, and we're going to look at it step by step, and then we'll look at the back end of what entails behind the scene. But to start off with, we'll find a nice juicy profile with a bunch of videos on it. You can see this one, already scoped it out. They have a lot of piracy on it. So when you find something you want to report, let's just start, let's say around here. Cool, we got that. Now when you find a video, you see the watermarks, the graphics, you know for sure this is a Flow event. We're going to open up this. This will automatically pop up anytime you come to TikTok or YouTube. Right now I have 152 videos saved. Now if I want to add this one, I simply just add it to the list. There you go. If I want to scroll through it, I can go down arrow, add, down arrow, add. If I want to go a little bit faster, if I don't necessarily want to move as much, I can keep my mouse here, use the keyboard to click down arrow, and in my other hand I can click save. So between the two you can get pretty quick with it, just like that. Now if you do anything, if you save anything that you don't want to save, you can undo the last one. You can go all the way back down to 0, or if you want you can just reset. So for now, let's just start with a good, let's say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. We got 5 videos saved. So now I'm going to open up the panel. The side panel opens up. Now you can see my information is already saved, but we'll walk from the top to the bottom. To start off with, we have our rankings. So the scout is if you put the events on Flow's radar. So if you save the events to the piracy page, but don't actually perform the takedown. The enforcer is actually performing the takedown, reporting it to TikTok and marking it as investigating. So right now I'm doing pretty good. I have 160 points. So I've done a little bit of piracy this week. Now MVP of the week is yours truly, Ivan McClay. We're probably going to change this to month, but for now it's a week. At 8 takedowns, I'm the only one reporting piracy right now, so I'm number 1. Now as we scroll down, you'll see manual reporting. We have the reporter's name. Type that in. That should save. Anytime you open this up, you'll always see this here, as well as your last event you reported. So last vertical I used was Varsity Cheer. So fine, we're still there. Now we're going to type the event name. So if you don't know the event, especially in cheer, you can sometimes get context clues. Right now this is Jam Fest Super Nationals, and the year is 2026. So I'm going to start with the year first, 2026. Jam, oh look at that, we already have it saved. So if you already reported something, it should save the information, so you don't have to keep typing every time. But let's just pretend for a second that we didn't have this saved. Let's just say it was 2025 Jam. Oh, we already did 2025. Let's do 2024 Jam Fest Super Nationals. Cool. So we don't have it already saved. So when I click off this box, this will not populate. There's nothing that comes up. If we did 2025, boom, let's see, this will auto-populate. Now, if nothing pops up in this box, say this is empty, we're going to push search, and it's telling us that we already have something very close, which is fine. We're still going to do this for demonstration purposes. So if nothing populates in this box, you'll push that search, you'll open up the verticals event page, and then you'll simply type it in again. So I'm actually going to copy it, use a little cheat code, and paste that right in there. It should pull up what you're looking for. We're going to go to the one that isn't rebroadcast, and that gives us all the videos. So I'm going to click the videos page, and this is where I would click copy URL. So this should be fine. Boom, just like that. Now all the information is saved. So looking at the workflow, I did the vertical, the event name. I added the URL for Flow to here, and I already have 5 videos saved. So I'm ready to start the report. After I start the report, you get these 3 boxes. Now you simply start with 1 and work your way to 3. So when I click the first box, you'll see that it opens everything and fills it up how you should. Then we get to the second one. So then I'll click the second box. Wait a second. Then I'll click the third box. Now you're 90% of the way done. Unfortunately, TikTok has these pesky upload pages. You can't necessarily automate this, so we're going to manually do this. So I'll show you exactly what we should be looking for when we get here. So in this event, I'm going to copy the URL. We would paste it here. It's up to what we just had. Now I'm going to find a video. Let's just go to results, make it a little easier on us to find something. Cool. So we're here. I still got to log in. I'll get that in a second, but we can always take a good screenshot here to show that we need a sign-in to watch this. You need a membership. So get the date. That's it. So that screenshot will save to my desktop. We'll do a quick login real quick. So boom, going back to an event. Now we're able to watch the event. So a couple things for this. First thing I like to do is open this tab. Don't click anything, but open your screenshot with it. That shows, again, you need a subscription to be on this page. Screenshot that. Next, open up full screen. Screenshot the event you're reporting. Screenshot that watermark. On top of that, we should have this graphic here in the corner. Screenshot that. Just like so. Now we got a good bit of evidence, but just to nail it home, I'm going to open up Google and I'm going to type in, how is Flow Sports related to Varsity TV? Open this up and then screenshot the results. This shows that we have legal standing. It's a simple, trustworthy way to prove to TikTok, yeah, we can take down these videos. Awesome. So once you got the screenshots you're looking for, you're going to upload them to here. So desktop, got the first 4 screenshots. And then in the additional section, that's where I include the Google screenshot. Awesome. So then I push send. That's it. You just finished reporting TikTok. When you're done with that, make sure you log the sheet. Now, if you notice up here in the corner, you're going to see tabs open and close. That's the extension scraping information, getting the report ready for you with as much detail as possible. So since we have 5, it's going to take a couple seconds. But once you get through these, you can close this out. So I'm actually going to lower that. And I could continue working. I can continue doing what I want. Matter of fact, we'll actually start on finding something on YouTube. So let's go DCI Worlds. So something popular on YouTube. Unfortunately, it might be harder to find something to report. I've done this a few times. This is actually what I practiced on making this extension, so it's well dried up for now. Let's just go. Yeah, I'm actually going to open this one up in a different tab, and we're going to start on this one. So I'm not actually going to report these. I'm just going to show you the work for them. It's cool. So this cleared out. That means the extension is all done. See, it's all good. Let's actually look at what we did. So this is the extension Flow uses to track all the pirate reports. You can see it's a very long list. As we get to the bottom, let's look at that real quick. So we just reported 2025 JamFest Super Nationals. This is the total number of views between all 5 URLs, takedown reported. And of course, we have the channel itself and then the report. So this is what I was opening those tabs for. We got the handle name, the date, the reporter, verticals. Then we have a nice screenshot. Let's watch it. A nice screenshot of everything we just reported. So when you move this little pop-up, make sure you can still see the channel name. But that's for all 5 videos. Then we have a cease and desist letter, but it's a good way to track it. Now everything involved with this report will be saved with this report number and this channel URL, or channel handle, I should say. But going back to the report, then investigators, if you notice, I actually got points for that. So I had 160, got 100 points for that. Now I'm at 260, and we also have 13 events, have 1,000 team goals. Cool. So moving back to YouTube. So process very similar. You find a video you want to add, you add it, it takes a second, then it loads it up. Now the reason why I wanted to do this one is because when I add it, you'll notice it takes a couple extra seconds. It's whitelisted, and at the bottom it says penalty applied, blocked. This URL is whitelisted. So we're not actually supposed to report Drum Corps International. They're whitelisted, so no matter how many times you try, it won't let you. And you lose points. So if we go back to that piracy page, you'll see got a little penalty for here, YouTube, nothing reported, the URL, whitelisted, failed, and minus 15 points. Ouch. So I might delete that later, stay at the top. But cool. So when we're ready, we push panel, it's already opened, then we type in flow marching. So this would be 2022 DCI World. See, right? Oh, that one's 25. DCI Worlds. We click search. I'm just going to leave this here demonstration purposes. That one isn't an actual pirate. But as we would go through it, same event, just click there. It would auto click through all these. So it would just upload it. It would do 10 at a time. That's the bottleneck for YouTube. And then it would fill it up. You click all three boxes and boom, boom. See, we're all set. We're ready to log it again. So I'm not going to push submit just because this isn't a real pirate, but you get the idea. It's very similar to TikTok. So right now it works for TikTok, YouTube, and reset. We're actually going to work on, let's go through the other features on this. So that's the report feature. Next is the third party feature. So if you find a third party, let's just say Tim Streams, the one I've been working on lately. This is a piracy third party channel, and they do a really good job at being hard to take down. So if you notice, I actually can't click it to add anything to it. But what I can do is click this safety feature, turn a third party on. That gives us a nuke button. So over here, boom. Now, when I push this nuke button, whatever's on the page is going to get scraped. So when I click this, you're going to see a lot of information. So I have URLs, should have an IP address somewhere in here. So just a lot of information to look through. It helps us kind of like build a portfolio of what we can take down. See IP address right there. So this stuff is information that we can use. Now on top of that, I'm actually gonna write down things that would be useful for us. So let's just start typing. This is the fun part about being a detective. Let's go Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. Canal plus extra one. And I would do this for pretty much everything I see on the page. As you click around, you might get a pop-up like this, and that's totally fine. Obviously, don't go through on the pop-up, but do save that URL. This is another income stream that these sites use. Do things on these pop-ups. So we save that, and this is where you get to play detective. Maybe I go to Discord channel, I save this into the notes. I just find as much possible. And whatever I can type in the notes, great. I got this. Maybe if I want to go around and start scraping more information from other ones, nuke it again, and scrape more information. You're going to get a lot of information. That's okay. More the better. But when I'm done doing all this stuff, then I'm going to push save to the pirate report. And that's all. After that, we start cleaning up our worksheet. So I'm going to close these out. You can see how it'd be really easy to get a long list of a lot of things all together all at once. And if you look back, you'll see really large reports. You also notice some of them are crossed out, some of them are not. So this is a big one that just reported. Let's look at that one real quick. Let's look at all these. So first is the automation tools. First thing first, only run one of these tools at a time. I'm going to start with the closer. Now the closer, really straightforward. It starts on whatever row you typed here. So if I started on row 1997, I'm going to go 1997, and I push on, it's going to open up all the URLs in row 1987. going to see if it's still there. It is still there. So then it's going to move down. Then it's going to keep doing that process. And it's going to keep moving down and down and down until it either hits the end of the sheet or you stop it. So it's going to check. You see how it does that? Now, I'm going to stop that right now. If you notice here on the side, we have reported, investigating, resolved. If it gets through all the URLs in a cell and it sees that none of them are available, it's going to mark that row as resolved. Some of them are available. So pretend there's 6 URLs in here. Only one was still up. It's going to mark investigating. If it doesn't get to it, it's going to keep it as reported. So there should be a good example right here. So this one has boom, boom, boom. These are all completed, all taken down, except this last one for whatever reason. So cool. It's still up. So investigating. Easy enough. So that's how you kind of clear it and mark what's already been investigated, taken down. Don't have to do it manually. But now you have to work on taking them down again. So we have our different platforms here on a double tap. So I'm going to work on TikTok. This is row 2021. So I'm going to type 2021. I'm going to push scan. It's going to start at the top and it's going to work its way down. It's going to find URLs that are still available. Then, if the URLs are there, it's going to add it to the list. Should have one. Let's wait till it gets to 23. When it finds a URL that's still there, it's going to add it to the list. It's going to keep going down until it finds 100 URLs in the platform you looked, and then it's going to complete. You can end it at any time, but once it finds all the URLs you're looking for, or you stop it, then you can report it the same process as before. So right now we're at 22, 23, so we should have gotten one out of that. Let's wait for this one to go through. We're going to stop it. Cool, one queued active link. Like I said, there was one link in that bunch that was still up. So when we go back to TikTok, so we have one video to report. So I just shown you that we could have, or shown you from TikTok, we started the video. You could have just started the report from here, but just so you see what I'm seeing here. So that gives you an option of auto reporting everything that gets left behind. So you don't manually have to click through all these, see if they're up, and add a report. You have a button for that. Now, as you do this reporting, as you get better at it, you'll notice we have this high scores list. So I'm at the top at 230. Lucas is in second. And then we have the second list. This one is for putting the events on the sheet, just marking them. You don't have to take them down, but this list is for the takedowns, actually doing the report. If you're wondering what events to find, we have this active bounties, usually the event that's this week or relatively recent that we have a lot of piracy on. So you'll be able to click this, copy it, go to TikTok, YouTube, paste it in here, and then that's what you look for. So that's how you find the piracy. Now, if you notice, the last button in this is the record selectors, record macros. So I'm actually going to go to the report page to show you what that does. Let me clear this out. So when I push this button, a lot of things are happening in the background. It's looking at values. So let me show you what that looks like. Minimize this. So let's find a good one. Right, this one'd be easy. So when I inspect a page, you'll see a lot of coding, right? So it's looking at this information, and it's like true, false, right here. Cool. So when I push this button, it's actually recording what I'm doing. So when things change, and I push that, it actually records what I just clicked. And this is the path for it. Test it and make sure it looks good. Cool. Then we're going to go checkbox. This one is going to be agreement. And then action type, text, select drop down. This one's just a click. So if this event or if this button was broken, say TikTok, YouTube updated any information, we push this and save it. Right now it works, so I'm going to cancel it. If it's something a little bit longer, say you want a signature, click macro, then you got 10 seconds to type in your name, boom, boom, boom. So that's it. That easy. So this records a lot of information, and it will save the last 5 updates. So if you make a mistake and you accidentally click, say here, you don't realize it, you save it and do everything, and you realize, oh, the button still doesn't work, you have another chance to click record, boom, and it'll save the last 5 attempts. So you can keep attempting until you kind of figure it out yourself. So there is a way. I have an explanation in another page. I'll show you in a second. But let's show you how to actually set this up. So when you're working on, let me close this. When you're working here, you have your extension. It also has an options page. Now this will have a button at the top. If you haven't set it up, you just click it and it'll automatically open this page for you. You don't have to find it, but in case you were curious, this is where it is. Now, for the information you're looking for, there's these 3 boxes you have to fill in. This one is for the Google folder. This one is for the piracy sheet. And this one's pretty much for the backlist updating sheet. I'll show you what those are, but if you're curious where this information comes for, we go to the piracy Excel sheet. It's in the URL. It's after the last slash before the edit. So this number, this code goes right here. This one, I can show you in a second, but all these numbers come from the URL. So if Flow changes what they're working with, you can change it right here. This toggle helps us by saving certain information and makes it easier for us to update buttons like this, make it work a little bit smoother. Not tracking anything that you do in your free time, but if you do use this app, this extension, it will help us record information a little bit easier so we can give you feedback. Here, I can type in suggestions and quickly save them. So if you see a bug, you see a update, a solution, anything you want to add, just send us a text and it'll give us your name, the suggestion, and the date you sent it. So I'd push save if I changed anything, but let's go to the back end. So this all works out of one folder. Right now, this is the pirate folder. Now going through it top to bottom, all the information that we were working with is saved in here. So when you look at those reports that we just made, they're saved in this folder. If you're going through screenshots, they are automatically sorted by day, just to make it a little easier. And they still have the report number and a channel name in the name of the file. Next is let's go events URL. So the events URL is pretty much, okay, popping up. Got it. So this is where that information goes when you're updating things. When I said if you type something in 2025 DCI and you click it and something auto populates, this is where the information is coming from. So it will save every new one here, and then we have a system to kind of organize it alphabetically. So it should be a really organized list. As we go through the bottom, we have the waitlist. So when you try to report something and it doesn't work, it's because the handle is right here. Let me fix this one up for you. So anytime you try to report one of these channels, it won't work because it's saved here. If you want to take something off or put something on, you simply just type it. So if I was doing, say, my personal little nonprofit, well, now no one can report me. I'm kidding. But next we have your pirate website. So all that information we saved from Tim's streams gets saved here. Now you can tell it's a lot of data. They kind of organized it. Each column, each 2 columns is a website, and then you have your notes here, and this is just helpful information we can save. So now we got, I think I want to say 4 or 5 IP addresses, which helps us take down the server, which helps us stop their revenue streams. There's a lot of information that we get from these that are very helpful. Cool. So after that, we have the events config. So this is like the back end. This extension doesn't necessarily have to update. Every so often it might, but typically when we make changes, it's going to be on this page. So if we want, say for example, the active bounties to change, we're going to update it in this form. So if you notice right here in the verticals, you got double XP true for this event. And that's how that pops up here. If I added one more, editing it with text editor, more would pop up. If you want to change it, cool. This is going to be very confusing for a lot of people. So to make it a little bit easier, we have different instructions on what you're looking for. And then as we get through it, we'll have more comments to kind of walk you through it. There should always be an example of what you're looking for in the form. So if you don't know what you're doing, just copy from what's above and put it there.